Hello, everyone. My name is Roxanne Marion, and I wanted to come on live here this evening. It's December 14th, 2022. And if you heard this afternoon, I actually heard this afternoon, I was out and I heard about the DJ and dancer Twitch and that he had died by suicide. And I'm going to be honest, I was shocked. I was shocked and probably just just could not believe it for quite a while. And he's not someone I knew outside of television and seeing him on the Ellen show and seeing him in different places on TV in the media. But I know immediately I started talking about what I talk about, which is which is mental health. That's what I talk about. And I talk about suicide prevention and I talk about suicide, and I continue to hear the question or the comment, why? I mean, he was just so happy and he was a light everywhere he went. And I believe that. I believe that because, I mean, you just always want to watch him. But the truth is that we are not a one dimensional people. We are three dimensional. We have more sides to us than what people can see. And we need to really take the time to start talking to each other because that's the only way we're going to get past someone's face and what they show us to see whether or not they will show us what is going on in their lives. Remember that, please know that I am not trying to blame anyone because no one is to blame. When someone dies by suicide, they have a pain that is so deep that honestly, they're thinking it's the only way they can get out of that pain. The reason why I know this is because I tried to die by suicide 3 times. And the reason why I wanted to die was because it was a pain that I had no idea how to get out of. There were situations that were just over and above my head, and I didn't know how to get out of them. And I had a chronic illness that I would never be able to get away from. And for me, I was overwhelmed. But when I talk about pain, some people, you don't see it as a physical pain. And we talk about mental health. But when you are in that position where you feel like you want to take your own life, we are in physical pain. And it's just overwhelming. It almost feels as if you can't breathe and you just want that pain to go away. So I got online and just wanted to talk about 11 signs of suicide, what you might see in someone who's considering suicide. One is displaying extreme mood swings. Someone might not be the same that you think that they are. They always present themselves as happy. All of a sudden they're always angry, then they go back to happy, and then they're jumping all over the place. They're having different mood strings, extreme mood swings, excuse me. Showing rage or talking about seeking revenge, withdrawing or feeling isolated. When when people when people isolate themselves and they walk away from that group of friends that they're always around, or you look and you know that this person's always been a part of your group, and all of a sudden they just want to stay at home, or someone just in your household. They're not coming out for dinner anymore. They're no longer around the family. They're not watching TV out there, but the family, all they want to do is hang in their room. When people are isolating themselves from everyone who they're used to being around, there is something that they're thinking of. And maybe we're not talking about that one moment where, you know what, I just have to get away from the family. We're talking about always isolating themselves, maybe more than one, maybe more than two occasions that they're isolating themselves. Talking about wanting to die or to kill oneself. Now, these are those immediate risks. If someone is saying that they want to die, there's no reason for them to be here anymore. You need to take it seriously and don't make a joke out of it. Don't take it lightly. Someone who's saying that, if they're even saying it to get your attention, maybe we should start paying attention. So just pay attention. And I would rather, and you would rather, have quote unquote overreacted than it be the truth that they did want to take their life. So if someone's talking about dying or wanting to take their own life and kill themselves, you need to find them help. Looking for a way to kill oneself, such as searching online or obtaining a gun, when someone is actually looking up ways that they can die by suicide, ways that they can take their own life. If you see it in the search, if you see someone who has a gun and they've never had a gun before, they're carrying around pills, like multiple pills, lots of pills, and you know they're not on medicine. It's about having to pay attention to each other just a little more than what we are, because life gets hectic and busy. But if you know the signs to look for, then you'll be able to actually see things a little easier. Talking about feeling hopeless or having no reason to live. Again, you might look at them and think everything is fine or they have a great life. That's not how they see it. Let's see. Sleeping too little or too much. This I can see with my chronic illness, with multiple sclerosis. I know that I sleep a lot sometimes, or I'm tired often, but there have been many of times that I am sleeping because I'm depressed, because I'm just not wanting to get out of bed, because there's no reason for me to get up, because who wants to put up with or live with or deal with whatever it is that they're going through? This is not only me. This is anyone with a chronic illness. This is anyone out there who is oversleeping. They're oversleeping because they're trying to avoid something, or they're sleeping too little because something might be on their mind that's making them feel as if they can't relax enough to sleep. So we definitely want to take note of that. Talking about feeling trapped or in unbearable pain. It's kind of the pain I was talking about. When we look at someone and someone say, and for me, this is a good example, and I hope some of you can understand this. when people have a chronic illness and that illness is an invisible disease and people don't see anything wrong with that person, it's easy for them to just say, oh, it can't be that bad because she's at work. It can't be that bad because she's, look at her. She looks fine. She looks great. That is the same thing that we do when we talk about someone's unbearable pain. You can't see their pain, but that doesn't mean they're not feeling it. Again, that's where talking to people and reaching out to people and dropping this whole stigma thing. We're people. We have feelings, we have emotions, we have a heart, we have a brain. Things happen. Speak to people about it. If you're the person who's in the situation, talk to someone about it, because that's the only way you're going to get help. And if you're the person on the outside looking in, looking at someone who might be going through something, or you just have a question, something is in your mind and you're like, I feel like I should ask her, that didn't cross your mind for no reason. It's okay to ask. It's okay to find out whether or not someone is in emotional distress, mental distress, even physical distress. But we're so quick to want to help when we see someone who has twisted an ankle, broken a leg, who has sunburn, who has, something on them where they've cut themselves anywhere, whatever it is. If we can see it, we're more than willing to talk. But when we can't see someone's pain, when we just don't know, we just mum's the word. Talk to one another, because all of us have been somewhere before where we just need to talk to each other or to someone. Talking about being a burden to others. When people start to say that, oh, I don't want to talk to you because I don't want to put the pressure on you, or I don't want you to feel like you have to rescue me, take care of me, or I'm too much of a burden. Some people come right out and say that. I'm too much of a burden on you. Some people actually feel like no one else wants to hear their story and their feelings. Some people actually feel like no one wants to take care of me. Again, I'm coming from a chronic illness side there. I'm someone who, I have a chronic illness. I have multiple sclerosis. I've moved back in with my parents. And when I go somewhere with them, my parents walk faster than me. I mean, my parents are 25, 30 years older than me. And they're walking faster than me because I have to walk with a cane. And sometimes I look wobbly. And sometimes I think to myself, you know what, you all should have your house back. Of course, I'm out of college. And you're beyond empty nesters. And I just don't want to be the one that you always have to. And they're fine. They're okay. It's their pleasure. They're fine with taking, this responsibility. Whereas I'm like, I really want to get my own place and, have my own anonymity. You know what? We always start to think, we always think about what other people must be feeling. I'm a burden. They must be so tired of me. This must be so tough on them. This must be more than they have expected to have to take care of. You're thinking it, but you're not asking it. They may have never even said that, never even thought it. We have to learn to talk to each other. This is a big one. Increasing the use of alcohol or drugs is one of the signs of suicide. Sometimes that is I want to say, not just self-diagnosing, but trying to treat yourself, trying to treat the pain. And you're taking medicine, you're doing all these other things. Hi, Claudia. You're taking all of these medicines to take and comfort something inside of you. I say medicine is not actually medicine. Alcohol is not medicine, and drugs are not medicine. Sometimes you're just trying to take it so you can kind of, just say, hey, I don't want to feel that pain right now. I don't want to be here in all of myself fully and completely right now. I just want to kind of just sit back and chill. I want to be out of this. We have to be careful about how we're self-diagnosing ourselves and self-medicating ourselves and over-medicating ourselves with alcohol. If you have someone who you see they drink, but they're always drinking, and you're like, oh yeah. And I'm going to go here on Friends. They had somebody named Fun Bobby at one time, and she was like, oh, but he's always drinking. Have you ever seen him without a drink? And all of a sudden she was like, well, maybe I should talk to him about it. And he stopped drinking, and then all of a sudden he wasn't Fun Bobby anymore. But sometimes we have to take it seriously. It's not just all about having fun. Drinking all of the time in the day, somebody over drinking at night, drinking in order to put yourself to sleep so you can go to bed. Just watch each other. See whether or not it is something that they need to, that they're crying out for help. That all that drinking and all that taking drugs is actually a cry for help. Okay? We need to, I'm going to say it again, we need to talk to one another. Acting anxious or agitated, behaving recklessly. That almost reminds me of going back extremes, like your extreme mood swings and things of that nature. When people are anxious or agitated, I might be thinking about this a lot because I can see myself being this way at sometimes. But if they're behaving recklessly, like it looks like they're trying to hide something that they're trying to do, and they're anxious about you seeing it, like they're trying to cover something up, or they're agitated that you're coming around and you might see them do something. You might see them looking on the computer about ways to die by suicide, or you might see it on their phone, or they're just trying to push you away and they're really anxious about you being around. Those are things that you can look for and mention and take the time to talk to people about. I spoke, oh my gosh, probably it's almost a year ago at a conference, and my speech was called Angels Don't Fly. And I was talking about the fact that we recognize things, and we see people are in trouble, and we see something's going on with someone, and we're thinking, oh, but I'm not going to say anything to them because I don't want to bother them. Or we're thinking someone else will get them, or it'll all be taken care of. Well, whatever miracle or expectation we're waiting on, you are that miracle that they're waiting on. Because angels don't fly. You are the angel. You are God's hands, you are God's feet. You are the one who will walk up to them and ask them if they need to talk. Do they need any help? What can you do for them? Do I need to call 988 to get some information about how I can help you with these feelings? This is the time of year where people start thinking about the loved ones that are no longer here, the things that they might not be able to afford to give other family members for Christmas. This is the time of year where people are saying, oh, I wish I had someone who loved me. Oh, I wish I had what someone else had. And it's hard. It's hard to get away from that. And we are the angels that we are looking for God to send to help the person. That's us. Because angels don't fly, they walk. It's us. We need to be there for one another. So I hope that, and I think that, like, I was shocked about Twitch today and it hurt. And I just pray for his family and think of them the best way that we can look at his life and try to give back to his life is to make sure that we're reaching out to one another. So I just wanted to jump on and say that. And again, just remember, if you are thinking about suicide or having those thoughts, the number is 988. You can call that number for help. Reach out to a friend. I will be doing another recording or live about some ways that you can overpower the thoughts of suicide. And we're going to go there. I was completely thinking of going another way. I was going to do 12 days of Christmas and think of all those things, but maybe this is the time that we really need to be serious and talk about this thing. Okay, so I'm going to say goodnight to you guys, and I hope and wish, and my prayer is that you love on each other enough to find out what's going on in someone else's life. Take care.